The last few years, we've seen a lot of sale of buyers' property, especially in the move-up market. As you get closer in California to $1 million homes or above, frequently the buyer is going to need to sell their property and move up, supplement it with some more cash and move up to your property. So we saw a lot of contingent sales. Now, even then, in a multiple offer situation, the buyer's agent would say, well, we can go higher in price. And you'd say, but my clients still like the fact that the other people aren't contingent. And they'd say, well, we'll make it not contingent, knowing that they, again, were playing the game of, well, if we can't perform, we just won't later. So a listing agent would have to inform their seller of all these issues. And, amazingly, a lot of sellers that I worked with were willing to work with contingent buyers if the contingent buyers were paying more than the non-contingent buyers. And especially because there was a risk that the non-contingent buyers sometimes really were contingent. Again, looking at the buyer's ability to finance the property helped a seller determine how strong the buyer really is. But it's a nice agreement. If this box is checked, then it would be attached, and you can read about the contingencies. I'll try to pull that up right now. So here's a copy of the contingency for sale of buyer's property, and it reads pretty straight through. It's set up so that if a buyer's property is in escrow or not escrow, it reads straight through to the last paragraph. That's what I was about to say. Buyer is supposed to keep seller informed, and good buyer's agents always do. Seller agent can also monitor it on the MLS. Some of the if it's not in escrow yet. Seller has a right to cancel under certain circumstances. Buyer has a right to cancel under certain circumstances. But when this becomes interesting is this paragraph 8. This is backup offers, and sellers have a right to have buyer remove contingencies or cancel. After acceptance, seller shall have the right to continue to offer seller's property for sale for backup offers. If the seller accepts a written backup offer, A, immediate right to notify buyer to remove sale of property contingency. So if the seller has A set up, if they get a backup offer that they accept, they can then force the buyer to prove that they have the ability to close and start the closing process, even though they had a contingency before that the seller would wait for them to close escrow on their property if they did it timely. Or B, and I guess if a buyer really wants to, I guess it depends on the market, but B seems to make more sense. Delayed right to notify buyer. Seller shall not invoke the notices. Shall not invoke the notice provisions in paragraph 8A, or within the first 17 or blank days after acceptance, if checked during the term of the agreement. I mean, a buyer would have to think that if they need 30 days to close the other property, they might want to put 30 days in there. So in short, depending on how you use this, this is a really well drafted agreement, depending on how you select A or 8B. And a great deal of it has to do with the market. I mean, if the seller's in great shape, the seller might be able to may say, hey, look, I would like you to pay more for the property. But the buyer said, okay, I'm willing to pay more for the property, but you've got to give me 17 or 30 or 35 days to close on my property, and then I'll give you that premium because you took a chance on us that we could close this property. So it's a great agreement. I've seen it used a lot. If you're a buyer or a seller, really take a look at this and make sure it's filled out and says things to your liking. I'm happy to answer questions on it because I said as I've had some experience with this in the last few years. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.